I love claymation, and I really like films based around Easter because they're often very brightly coloured and engaging. So I was really looking forward to Claymation Easter. This is Will Vinton's Claymation Easter from 1992, but honestly, I didn't really like it very much. This is directed by Mark Gustafson, and it has a pretty great cast, including Jim Cummings as Dr. Spike Rabbit and Tim Connor as Vince Pig. And this pig hears on the radio that the Easter Bunny gets offered a lot of money to do advertisements for various products, and the pig hatches a plan to kidnap the Easter Bunny and become the new Easter Bunny, despite being a pig, so that he gets offered those deals and gets the money. And I thought that's actually an interesting concept. It's unlike anything I've personally ever seen before, but I didn't really care for the narrative once it actually got going. It's not necessarily that it was badly executed because the plot followed a pretty standard structure and everything that happened made enough sense within the realms of the narrative, but I just didn't find it that interesting. I also don't love the animation. I like the animation of the characters, and when we get close-ups of the characters I think they look really good and a lot of the movements are quite good, but I feel like the backgrounds are really busy, but not in a way that feels detailed and fascinating. It just feels cluttered and not very good, and it kind of makes it harder to focus on the action that's happening. Not every backdrop, not every background. There are times when it's actually not so bad, but I just felt like it visually was nowhere near as nice to watch as the average claymation film. It just felt messy and cluttered. There was a lot of clash of colours as well, which didn't really work very well, and it also wasn't as brightly coloured as I'd expected. Easter based films are usually very brightly coloured and sunshiny, and obviously, I'm talking about commercial Easter films that focus on Easter eggs and the Easter bunny. So I was expecting a lot more vibrancy, but it's actually really dull. So I didn't love it. In fact, I actually really didn't like it. The narrative was okay, not amazing, but okay. But the claymation itself, apart from the characters and the close ups of the characters and occasionally some of the movements, it just felt really rough around the edges and really not very pleasing to look at. And I love claymation. I love watching claymation, even when the movements are a little bit, stagnant and they're not as fluid. I still usually really enjoy it, but with this one, it didn't work very well. It wasn't very pleasing to look at. So I'm not going to recommend it unless you love claymation. In that case, give it a go. Maybe it will appeal to you. But if you're not that bothered about claymation, I would say it's probably not worth it. I think there are a lot of rooms for improvement. Claymation Easter did not live up to my expectations.